House will come to order. Members, please take your seats. Sergeant at Arms.
The House is now in session. All persons not entitled to the privileges of the floor, please retire to the gallery.
The members will rise and be led in prayer by Bishop Ernest L. Moore, Jr., Destiny Community Church, Richmond, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, which will be led by the delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Herring.
Let us pray. Eternal God, source of wisdom, justice, and peace, we offer gratitude for this day and for the sacred responsibility of public service. Across many traditions and names, we acknowledge the shared call to build a commonwealth where all peoples may thrive. Grant this House of Delegates clarity of mind, integrity of heart, and courage of conscience. May every decision be guided by truth, every conversation shaped by respect, and every policy rooted in the compassion for the common good. Allow them to hear the cry of the vulnerable, uplift the oppressed, and inspire leaders to pursue justice with humility. May this work strengthen peace, dignity, and hope for all who are called to Virginia and call Virginia home. Amen. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The members will answer the roll call by indicating their presence on the electronic voting board. Clerk will close the roll.
Mr. Speaker, a quorum is present.
Pursuant to House Rule 3, I have examined and approved the General House of Delegates for January 26, 2026. Motions and resolutions under Rule 39 pursuant to the provisions of Rule 40 are now in order. Does the clerk have any announcements or communications?
Not at this time, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, in this first portion of the morning hour, Speaker requests you use your request to speak button for the agenda items listed for reference up on the voting board.
Delegate from Richmond City, Delegate Cousins.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for an introduction.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the gallery is Bishop Ernest L. Moore, Jr., who so beautifully led the opening prayer, and I would ask that he stand to be recognized. He's already standing. Bishop Moore is the founding pastor and establishmentarian of Destiny Community Church in Richmond, Virginia, where he has faithfully served for more than 25 years. A visionary leader shaped by the African-American holiness Pentecostal tradition, Bishop Moore is committed to prophetic ministry, community transformation, and holistic liberation through worship, justice, and spiritual formation. He holds a Master of Divinity from the Samuel DeWitt Proctor School of Theology at Virginia Union University and has also completed his doctoral coursework toward the Doctor of Ministry degree at United Theological Seminary with ongoing focus in practical theology and leadership formation. Bishop Moore is also an avid civic leader, serving as a management analyst in the City of Richmond's Office of Equitable Transit and Mobility, where he advances initiatives centered on equity, belonging, and community engagement. I request that the members join me in extending gratitude and a warm house welcome to Bishop Moore.
Welcome to the Capitol, and thank you for that prayer this morning. The delegate from York County, Delegate Downing.
Mr. Speaker, I rise for a motion.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move that when the House adjourns today, it adjourn in honor and in memory of Alex Preddy. Alex Preddy was the kind of person hospitals depended on in their hardest moments, a calm presence amid chaos, a mentor who led with patience and kindness, an ICU nurse taking care of our veterans who showed up again and again when people were at their most vulnerable. He was also a singer, a dancer, a cyclist who loved the beauty of Minnesota, and a friend remembered for making others feel safe simply by being himself. This weekend, Alex's family, coworkers, and friends gathered to remember his life. They shared photos of Alex they knew, smiling in powder blue scrubs at the VA hospital where he cared for veterans, standing proudly with his mountain bike on wooded trails, singing at his high school graduation in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Alex was 37 years old. Mr. Speaker, as a physician myself, I want to speak plainly about this. Alex took an oath, much like the one I took, an oath to do no harm, an oath to uphold professional integrity, an oath to treat every person with dignity, regardless of background, an oath to use knowledge, skill, and compassion to provide the best care. And in his final moments, Alex was living that oath, doing what medical professionals are trained to do, responding with care, calm, and humanity, helping a woman up off the ground. He acted exactly as any responsible healthcare professional would, and he was killed, shot in the back. Mr. Speaker, today we honor Alex Preddy for how he lived, how he served, and the quiet good he brought into the world. For those reasons, I respectfully ask that when the House adjourns today, it do so in honor and in memory of Alex Preddy. Thank you.
The delegate from York County, Delegate Downey, asks that when the House adjourns today, it do so in the honor and memory of Alex Preddy. Those in favor shall rise. Motion is agreed to. Delegate from Henrico County, Delegate McQuinn.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise for a motion.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move that HJR 88 will be taken out of order, and I want to speak to that motion.
Clerk will report a resolution.
House Joint Resolution Number 88, celebrating the life of the Reverend Dr. Sylvester L. Turner.
And speaking to the motion, Mr.
The delegate
Chair.
has the floor.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, HJR 88 focuses on an individual who served the country, served our community, served the Commonwealth, and this nation in so many amazing ways. Reverend Dr. Sylvester L. Turner was a friend and a colleague. And when I think about him, the word rises first is faithful. He was faithful to God, faithful to history, faithful to truth, and faithful to the people he served as the pastor of Pilgrim Baptist Church. For more than 25 years, Sylvester and I walked together in sacred work that was never easy and never popular, but always necessary. Together, we told the story of Lumpkin's jail and the slave trail and talked about that infamous place once known as the Devil's Half Acre, where human beings were reduced to property, yet where God's presence was never absent. We walked the trail. We served others on the trail as we gave them a tour step by step and name by name, and we refused to let memory be erased or softened. And Sylvester understood the importance of that deeply. History, he understood, is not just about the past, but it is a moral claim on the present. He was, again, a pastor with a historian mind and a prophet's heart. He taught us that if we do not tell our own story, someone else will tell it for us, or worse, bury it altogether. So as a colleague, he was rigorous and uncompromising about accuracy. He demanded the truth and not convenience. As a pastor, he carried the pain of our ancestors with reverence, never exploiting it, never sensationalizing it, but always framing it through faith and dignity. He believed that remembering was a spiritual act, and that to name the suffering was also to affirm survival. Ultimately, Sylvester, as I would always call him, or T, he would always talk about what is the end result, and the end result was to look to address the issue of healing and reconciliation, no matter what work we were doing. And so we lost just an esteemed gentleman that had served us so well in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And today, as we look at House Joint Resolution 88, again, I move that we will pass the resolution, Mr. Speaker, and that as we adjourn today, we would do it in remembrance of Reverend Dr. Sylvester L. Turner. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The delegate from Henrico County, Delegate McQuinn, moves the adoption of House Joint Resolution number 88. And when the House adjourns today, it adjourns in the honor and memory of Dr. Sylvester L. Turner. Those in favor of the motion shall rise. The motion is agreed to. The delegate from Albemarle, Delegate Laufer.
Mr. Speaker, I rise for an introduction.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the gallery today, we have the Service Dogs of Virginia, and I ask that they please stand. Service Dogs of Virginia is a 25-year-old nonprofit organization who trains and donates free of charge service dogs to Virginians challenged with disabilities. They've placed over 100 dogs and provide ongoing support to over 50 teams throughout the state, with each partnership lasting upwards of 10 years. Their programming includes service for veterans and first responders with PTSD, physical assistance, autism, medical alert, and facility placement in therapeutic settings. Service dogs have proven to provide benefits including lowering suicide risk among veterans and first responders with PTSD, fewer hospitalizations, and reduced use of emergency medical services. This organization is moving into a new 40-acre facility to increase their outreach. I request that the members join me in extending a warm House welcome.
Welcome, welcome to the Capitol Day. And nobody balked. So good. Pursuant to House Rule 30, the journal shall reflect that the following members are away on pressing personal businesses and are granted leave from today's session. Delegate Knight. Clerk shall announce the next order.
Mr. Speaker, the second portion of the morning hour reserved for a member request to move legislation from any uncontested calendar to the regular. There are 5 in the category of second reading uncontested. Page 6, if you're following along that way, House Bill 60 by Delegate Ward and House Bill 67 by Delegate Fagans. Out of the block over to the regular calendar. Page 7, House Bill 77 by Delegate Kriesik. Out of the block over to the regular calendar. Page 9, Delegate Martinez's House Bill 343 over to the regular calendar. And on page 11, House Bill 515 by Delegate Martinez out of the block over to the regular calendar. Those requests were all made by Delegate Wyatt.
Clerk will announce the next order.
And the third portion of the morning hour reserved for member requests for legislation by for the day. I'm not aware of any such requests, Mr. Speaker.
Clerk will announce the next order.
And the fourth and final portion of the morning hour is reserved for member requests for points of personal privilege. The Speaker asks you to use your request to speak button and get in the queue.
The delegate from Hampton, Delegate Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, today I rise for the point. Well, no, wait a minute. I just want to speak today about today is MS, that's Multiple Sclerosis Advocacy Day. Today we were scheduled to have MS warriors here with us today, but as you know how difficult it has been for us to maneuver, you could imagine how difficult it would be for people who have mobility issues. So today they are watching us virtually, and so I'm so glad for those of you who wanted to support them by showing your support by wearing orange, and that's a great thing. Today they are addressing the out-of-cost pocket for drugs, and it's because MS is affecting over 1 million Americans, and there's over 17,001 Virginians presenting diverse symptoms of multiple sclerosis. Let me tell you what multiple sclerosis is. It's when your myelin is stripped all off of your nerves. It's almost like an extension cord. And you know, sometimes when that rubber part gets frayed off, then you leave those wires, and whenever you plug it in, it gets that kind of creepy kind of sound. That's what it is. So the messages are not getting to where they need to go, so it causes so many issues for people with multiple sclerosis. It causes extreme fatigue, mobility issues, yes, cognitive challenges, you be the judge, and of course, vision issues. But no matter what, we always say that MS does whatever MS wants to do whenever MS wants to do it. Now, that's what I'm saying now after 22 years. But when I first came here, I strutted around here in 3- and 4-inch heels. And I stood on this floor and I said stuff like, MS, I might have MS, but MS may never have me. I talked like I was so big and bad. But again, MS is going to do what MS wants to do. When I was first diagnosed, there was no cure whatsoever for MS. That was 30 years ago, 32 years ago, no cure. There was one drug called beta-seron, and beta-seron, you had to get that through a lottery. So I might have won one lottery, unfortunately, but this lottery I did not win for beta-seron. And so this is the reason why we kept fighting to find some kind of medication for people with multiple sclerosis. So I've been on different medications, and sometimes there's a side effect, and you have to just deal with it and go on. There's another one that my doctor has just prescribed for me that is ready for me to try, but he didn't want me to try it when I was coming here to the General Assembly until we knew exactly how I would act. But right now it's been 2 years with nothing. But I'm doing just fine. I don't talk big and bad, and it's because one time when we were at an event and I stepped down those spiral staircase, and it was at a Black Caucus event, and I tripped and I fell. You talk about humbling somebody. I learned right then I don't do steps. I just hate steps, and most of you know I don't do steps. That's that one thing that I'm very careful about. But regardless, if you can find it and diagnose it early on, there are some medications that might help you. And that's what's so important. And that's why the MS Warriors are online today. They're going to be calling you for support for legislation to make sure that they can get their medication. It's quite expensive, but multiple sclerosis is a difficult drug. Disease. I always feel like I'm traveling with a witch on my back, always trying to get me. But it's okay, because I got my guardian angels on my shoulder also. And I'm just going to say it real quick. I named them. One is Grace Ann. Her last name is Mercy. And that's how I travel. And so whenever you see me, so many of you help me. You see me walking across the parking lot or whatever. And some of you have just grabbed my arm, and I appreciate it so much, Dan Helmer. And all of you who always look out for me, I appreciate it. But you know, I always fight, because I'm fighting this thing every day. So just remember, there's a lot of us that are out there fighting every single day for a cure. And so what I'm asking you to do, for those of you who have your orange, if you would stand and take a picture, because our MS Warriors are watching today, and I'd like to send them a picture and let them know. I appreciate everything that you all are doing for people who are living with multiple sclerosis, and I thank you so much for supporting me today. Thank you.
The delegate from Hanover, Delegate Fowler.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for an announcement.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the House, I'm going to ask that Delegate Carr and myself are asking you to please join us on this year's first Virginia Legislative Sportsman's Caucus meeting of the 2026 legislative session on this Thursday, January the 29th at 7 a.m. on the 7th floor House North Subcommittee meeting room. Mr. Speaker, our special guest for this meeting is Director Ryan Brown of the Department of Wildlife Resources. He's going to discuss the funding of Virginia's wildlife conservation, Mr. Speaker. And again, thank you, everyone. I hope I'll see you there on Thursday morning at 7 o'clock with Betsy Carr. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The delegate from Buckingham, Delegate Garrett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Resident appointed personal privilege.
Delegate has the floor.
Mr. Speaker, January 27th marks International Holocaust Remembrance Day. And I am every day praying, dear God, please put me where you want me. And I wish I served the God of Moses who would very explicitly tell me where that is. But I think that the things that I've done in my life that meant the most were things that I did where I risked everything that had been given to me that I hadn't earned to help other people. And so we often hear the refrain, never again, as it relates to the Holocaust. But I think that everyone in this room, regardless of political party or ideology, has a unique opportunity to serve to ensure that never again becomes the truth. 6 million people were murdered based on their ethnicity, on their race, on their faith, on their ideology. And it happens still today. If you took the number of people murdered by the Iranian regime in the last month and adjusted it for population, it would be the equivalent of the United States government killing over 100,000 of its own citizens in the space of a week. And so it continues. And so every single life, I believe, Mr. Speaker, has purpose. I believe that every single person that God puts on this earth, he has some mission for. And so it is hard to reconcile my faith with the fact that an innocent child might be murdered based on the fact that they were Jewish or black or Muslim or Christian. But I know that those lives had meaning. So today, Mr. Speaker, I would ask that we give those lives meaning by understanding that never again puts a responsibility on each of us, not just to our Jewish American neighbors, but to Christians and Muslims, to black, white, brown, everyone that was created in God's own image. And that today, Mr. Speaker, when we adjourn with the thought never again in remembrance of International Holocaust Awareness Day. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I'm going to assume that was a motion to adjourn, and the delegate from Buckingham, Delegate Garrett, moves that when the House adjourns today, it do so in the remembrance of those who were victims of the Holocaust. All those in favor will please rise. The motion is agreed to. The clerk will call the calendar.
Calendar for today, Tuesday, January 27th, 2026, for the Virginia House of Delegates. First category, House bills on third reading, uncontested calendar. 2 bills in the uncontested calendar block. They are House Bill 175, and on page 2, if you're following along that way, House Bill 176. Those 2 bills are in the uncontested third reading calendar block.
Shall the bills pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 99, no 0.
Ayes 99, no 0. The bills pass.
Continuing with today's calendar. Next category, House bills on third reading regular. 11 bills in this category. Getting on page 2, House bills third reading regular. House Bill 38 relating to public schools, mental health awareness training, and instruction requirements.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 68, noes 31.
Ayes 68, noes 31. The bill passes.
House Bill 116 relating to school board employee grievance procedure, timing of dispute resolution.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 93, no 6.
Ayes 93, no 6. The bill passes.
Top of page 3, continuing third reading regular, House Bill 171, now before you, relates to student instruction, internet safety, certain topics.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 75, noes 24.
Ayes 75, noes 24. The bill passes.
House Bill 199, relating to the Board of Education through-year growth assessment system alternatives during the 2024-2025 through 2027-2028 school years.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 92, noes 6.
Ayes 92, noes 6. The bill passes.
House Bill 206, relating to college partnership laboratory schools transparency.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 73, noes 25.
Ayes 73, noes 25. The bill passes.
Over on page 4, continuing with third reading regular, House Bill 210, now before you, relates to school meal debt annual report.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 89, noes 10.
Ayes 89, noes 10. The bill passes.
House Bill 282, relating to real property tax, classification of land and improvements, Charlottesville and Falls Church.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 91, noes 8.
Ayes 91, noes 8. The bill passes.
House Bill 288, requiring the Department of Education to post certain instructional resources on its website.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 86, noes 12.
Ayes 86, noes 12. The bill passes.
House. Top of page 5 of the printed calendar, House Bill 334 relates to additional local sales and use tax to support schools referendum.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 70, noes 28.
Ayes 70, noes 28. The bill passes.
House Bill 341 relates to plastic bag tax distribution to towns.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 67, noes 32.
Ayes 67, noes 32. The bill passes.
Last bill in this category is House Bill 414, relating to selective service two-year college transfer grant, Virginia Tuition Assistance Grant Program.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 79, noes 19.
Ayes 79, noes 19. The bill passes.
Turning to page 6 of the printed calendar, new category, House bills on second reading uncontested calendar, approximately 10 to 12 bills in the category. Now before you, House Bill, top of page 6 of the printed calendar, House Bill 60 and House Bill 67 are out of the block over to the regular calendar. Therefore, the first bill in the block is House Bill 69. House Bill 69 to amend and reenact two sections of the Code of Virginia relating to retail franchise agreements, governing law, competition restrictions, the legislation report committee on labor and commerce.
Delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Helmer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, House Bill 69 simply prohibits non-compete agreements for franchisees if their franchise agreement is terminated. I hope it is will the body to engross the bill and pass it on to its third reading.
Continuing with the block, top of page 7, House Bill 77 is out of the block to the regular calendar. Therefore, the second bill in this block is House Bill 107, which seeks to amend and reenact 2 sections of the Code of Virginia relating to underinsured motorist benefits, actions against released defendant. Legislation Report Committee on Labor and Commerce.
Delegate from Giles County, Delegate Ballard.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, members of the House, House Bill 107 is simply a clarifying bill. It doesn't change any substance or intent of that particular code section. It just makes clear that the released tortfeasor does not need to be served with a copy of the complaint, and that service is only required on an injured party's own insurance company, which actually is the proper entity to be served and to defend the lawsuit. Hope it's the will of the House to engross the bill and pass it on to its third reading.
Continue with the block, top of page 8, House Bill 159 is now before you. It seeks to amend and reenact sections of the Code of Virginia relating to the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, proceedings for enforcement, petition for mandamus, or injunction. Legislation Report Committee on General Laws with an amendment.
Delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Simon.
Mr. Speaker, I move the committee amendments.
Shall the committee amendments be agreed to? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. Committee amendments are agreed to.
Mr. Speaker, members of the House, what this bill does is it streamlines the process for seeking a mandamus or injunction against a public official who's not complying with FOIA. It allows you to go to court by simply serving a copy of the complaint on the elected official or delivering it. They just have to receive it. You don't have to go through a formal notice and formal service of process, because that would slow the process down. It's a unanimous recommendation of the subcommittee or the committee, and I hope it's the pleasure of the body to engross the bill and pass it on to its third reading.
Next up in the second reading on contested block, House Bill 230, which seeks to amend and reenact sections of the Code of Virginia related to motor vehicle use of safety belt systems, certain emergency medical services personnel. Legislation Support Committee on Transportation with an amendment nature of a substitute.
Delegate from Henrico County, Delegate McQuinn.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, House Bill 230.
You want to move the substitute?
Beg your pardon?
Would you like to move the substitute?
Yes, I would. Yes, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to move the substitute.
Shall the substitute be agreed to? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The substitute is agreed to. Delegate from Henrico County.
All right, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, House Bill 230, this bill clarified Virginia's seatbelt law for emergency medical service personnel by allowing EMTs and paramedics to be unrestrained only when they are actively providing necessary patient care in the patient compartment of EMS vehicles. When they are not providing care, seatbelts, and they are expected to do as everyone else is required to have their seatbelt on. And so I ask that we would move HB 230 to its third reading. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Continuing with the block over on top of page 9, House Bill 242. Now before you seeks to amend the Code of Virginia relating to public utilities, multiple budget plan payment increases within 12 months prohibited. Notice required. The Legislative Support Committee on Labor and Commerce with amendments.
Delegate from Fredericksburg, Delegate Cole.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the committee amendments.
Shall the amendment be agreed to? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The committee amendment is agreed to.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. HB 242 protects residential customers who use budget billing plans. These plans are meant to provide stable, predictable monthly bills, and this bill ensures utility companies cannot increase those payments more than once in a year, and if so, must give 60 days notice before any increase. It adds transparency, protects families on fixed incomes, and preserves fair billing practices, and I hope it will be the privilege of the body to engross and pass the bill on to its third reading.
House Bill 343 is out of the block on the bottom of page 9, continuing page 10. Next up is House Bill 351, which seeks to amend and reenact 2 sections of the Code of Virginia relating to flashing red and white warning lights, emergency vehicle exemptions, Department of Military Affairs emergency vehicles, legislation supported on transportation.
Delegate from Virginia Beach, Delegate Fagans.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 351 clarifies that the Virginia Department of Military Affairs emergency vehicles are recognized as emergency vehicles when responding to office installation incidents. These assets are routinely requested for mutual aid-based incidents, yet the current code creates a legal gray area once they leave the gate. This bill helps to resolve that problem by adding them as authorized. Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill be engrossed and passed to its third reading.
House Bill 368 seeks to amend and reenact a wide variety of sections of the code, all relating to definitions, American Indians, Virginia recognized tribes, federally recognized tribes, sovereignty. Legislative Support Committee on General Laws.
Delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Creasy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members of the body. House Bill 368 is a unanimous recommendation of the Commission on updating Virginia law to reflect federal recognition of Virginia tribes. You will see that the chief codes are all members of that commission. This legislation creates a new code section titled State and Tribal Relations, and it further establishes consistent definitions for American Indian, federally recognized tribe, and Virginia recognized tribe within the Virginia Code. The change would bring long-needed consistency and clarity to the state code, acknowledging tribal sovereignty and aligning more closely with current federal definitions. I hope it's the will of the body to engross this bill and pass it on to its third reading.
Continuing with the block, House Bill 409 seeks to amend and reenact Section Code of Virginia relating to passing a stop school bus, divided highways, access roads, and certain driveways. Legislation Report Committee on Transportation.
Delegate from Loudoun County, Delegate Reed.
Mr. Speaker, House Bill 409 clarifies that a driver does not have to stop for a stop school bus on the opposite side of a divided highway, even if the divided highway is non-contiguous because of an intersection. This legislation was coordinated with law enforcement and intended to provide clarity to both drivers and law enforcement. I hope it will be the will of the House to engross the bill and pass it on to its third reading.
Top of page 11, House Bill 515 is out of the block to the regular calendar. Therefore, the last bill in the uncontested second reading block is House Bill 603, which seeks to amend and reenact Section Code of Virginia relating to the Virginia All-Payer Claims Database, Disclosure of Information Limitation. This legislation report committee on Health and Human Services.
The delegate from Henrico, Delegate Willett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, HB 603 is a minor technical change to the Virginia All-Payer Claims Database. This bill will allow the program to release actual reimbursement information that is already publicly available. This will also better align it with federal law, which has permitted that since 2019. Mr. Speaker, I move the bill be engrossed and passed to its third reading.
Shall the bills be engrossed to pass the third reading? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The bills are engrossed and passed the third reading.
Continuing with today's House calendar, new category, House bills on second reading, regular calendar. House bills second reading, regular calendar, beginning with House Bill number 2, which would reduce heating-related costs of living for low-income residents by requiring certain electric utilities to provide energy efficiency upgrades. Report, the Legislation Report Committee on Labor and Commerce with an amendment in nature of a substitute.
The delegate from Richmond City, Delegate Carr.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the committee substitute.
Shall the committee substitute be agreed to? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The committee substitute is agreed to.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. HB 2 sets a goal for the APCO and Dominion to deliver energy bill savings to 30% of their low-income customers still paying for the highest cost home heating by converting them to far lower cost electric heat, delivering significant savings to hardworking Virginians. I hope it will be the will of the body to engross the bill and move it to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and pass the third reading? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Did you want to speak on that bill? I'm sorry. Okay. All those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and pass the third reading.
Turning to page 12, continuing second reading, regular House Bill number 3 is now before you, directing the Department of Housing and Community Development to establish an income-qualified energy efficiency and weatherization task force. Report, legislation reported from the Committee on Labor and Commerce.
The delegate from Richmond, Delegate LaVere Bowling.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this body considered and passed this legislation last session with strong bipartisan support. HB 3 establishes an income-qualified energy efficiency and weatherization task force to address a problem that we all recognize, which is existing programs are not reaching too many eligible Virginians. Across the Commonwealth, families are facing impossible choices between paying their energy bills, buying groceries, or affording medication, not because resources don't exist, but because they are fragmented and difficult to access. This bill brings agencies, utilities, housing experts, advocates, and Virginians with lived experiences together to identify barriers, close gaps, especially in multifamily and manufactured housing, and deliver real home solutions. Mr. Speaker, this is a practical bill focused on coordination, transparency, and equity, and I move that this bill be engrossed and passed on to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and pass the third reading? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The bills are engrossed and pass the third reading.
Now before you is House Bill 6, seeks to amend the Code of Virginia related to contraception, right to contraception, applicability, enforcement. Legislation Report Committee on Health and Human Services.
Delegate from Newport News, Delegate Price.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 6 would codify a person's right to contraception by preventing state or local action that would infringe upon an individual's right to access the various FDA-approved drugs and devices for contraception used in preventing pregnancy and treating other health issues that many women deal with, such as myself, like endometriosis and polycystic ovarian syndrome. I would also like to reiterate that this bill is focused on preventing the state and localities from enacting laws that would prevent access. This bill does not change the current law on who can get contraception or how they can get it. So, Mr. Speaker, I hope it would be the will of the body to engross the bill and pass it on to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and pass the third reading? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed the third reading.
Next up is House Bill 25, which seeks to amend the Code of Virginia relating to railroad safety, minimum train crew movement of freight, civil penalties. Legislation Report Committee on Labor and Commerce.
The delegate from Norfolk, Delegate Anthony.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 25 is identical to the legislation passed in 2024 out of the General Assembly, but vetoed by our previous governor. It adds language to the Code of Virginia to maintain the current federal administrative regulation that any train, locomotive, or light engine used in connection with freight movement must operate with at least 2 qualified individuals as crew, and sets escalating civil penalties. Maintaining the 2-person crews will ensure that these responsibilities can be handled simultaneously, thus improving the chances of catching and correcting a problem before it becomes a disaster and allowing more rapid and effective responses when accidents do happen. Mr. Speaker, I hope it be the will of the body to engross the bill and pass it to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and pass the third reading? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed the third reading.
Top of page 13. Next up in this category, second reading regular, is House Bill 220, which seeks to amend and reenact sections of the Code of Virginia relating to health insurance tobacco surcharge. Legislation Report Committee on Labor and Commerce.
The delegate from Arlington, Delegate Hope.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, members of the body, House Bill 220 would repeal the tobacco surcharge in the code that allows payers to charge 50% more in premiums for tobacco users. The Joint Commission on Healthcare did a study on this in 2021, and they found that the tobacco surcharge currently creates an adverse selection because tobacco users with greater healthcare needs are more willing to pay the surcharge. Meanwhile, those tobacco users that are younger and healthier will not enroll in the program, thus thereby creating a pool of unhealthy people. The Joint Commission on Healthcare study found out that the simulation model estimates that eliminating this tobacco surcharge by what we're doing here today would reduce premiums between 3 and 4.5% for individuals across the board. This is part of the governor's affordability package. I hope it to be a pleasure of the body to engross the bill and pass it on to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and pass the third reading? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed the third reading.
House Bill 222 is now before you. It seeks to amend and reenact sections of the Code of Virginia relating to public pools, regulations. Legislation Report Committee on Health and Human Services with amendments.
Delegate from Arlington, Delegate Hope.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the committee amendments.
Shall the committee amendment be agreed to? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The committee amendment is agreed to.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 222 would authorize the Virginia Department of Health to promulgate regulations for the operations, maintenance, and safety of public swimming pools, spas, water parks, and other aquatic venues statewide. Virginia is one of few states that do not already have regulate public swimming pools. Hope it be a pleasure of the body to engross the bill and pass it on to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and pass the third reading? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed the third reading.
Turning to page 14 of the printed calendar. Next up, House Bill 301 seeks to amend and reenact 2 sections of the Code of Virginia relating to adult adoptees, access to vital records. Legislation Support Committee on Health and Human Services with amendment nature substitute.
The delegate from Albemarle, Delegate Carlson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the House adopt the committee substitute.
Shall the committee substitute be agreed to? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The committee substitute is agreed to.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 301 allows adult adoptees to access their original birth certificate upon request. As a reminder, the decision to seal birth records in Virginia is currently in the hands of the adoptive parents, not the birth parents and not the adoptee. Adult adoptees also currently have the chance to access their original birth record, but it's a cumbersome legal process that provides inequitable access. So with that, I ask that it be the will of the body to engross the bill and pass it to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and pass the third reading? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed the third reading.
House Bill 373 now before you seeks to amend the Code of Virginia relating to restaurants. Food allergy awareness notice required. The Legislation Report Committee on Health and Human Services.
Delegate from Loudoun County, Delegate Martinez.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. HB 373 requires the State Health Commission to publish in multiple languages a notice on the Department of Health's website containing procedures for restaurant staff to follow when a customer has a food allergy. The bill requires restaurants to post such notice in a conspicuous location. The bill also requires restaurants to include the phrase, "If you have a food allergy, please notify us," and its translation, if applicable, on their menus or on a sign posted conspicuously in the restaurant. Mr. Speaker, I move the bill be engrossed and passed to its third reading.
Delegate from Bedford, Delegate Griffin.
Mr. Speaker, I rise for a question.
Will the delegate yield?
Delegate will yield.
Mr. Speaker, I would ask the delegate, does this put a new burden on a business owner, a restaurant owner, to make a posting about different languages other than English in his restaurant?
Delegate from Loudoun County, Delegate Martinez.
I don't believe so. No.
Mr. Speaker, may I ask a follow-up?
Will the delegate yield?
Delegate will yield.
Who pays for what needs to be printed and be available in other languages in the restaurant?
The restaurant owner, while he's making his new menus, will include this that he would normally do.
Mr. Speaker, speaking to the bill.
The delegate has the floor.
Mr. Speaker, I don't know that the patron knows what the bill does. This is a new requirement on English-speaking business owners in this state to print different languages available on what people might be allergic to and have it in their restaurant. I always say with businesses that starting a business in America should be as easy as a kid going out in his neighborhood, standing on the street corner and starting a lemonade stand. It should be that easy. And in this era, when the economy's not great, we want to make it as easy as possible for people to go out there and be successful. When we put these new burdens on our business owners, it does the exact opposite. Maybe my memory is fading, but I thought the goal here was going to be affordability. And yet you're putting more burdens on business owners. When I ask who's going to pay for it, well, the business owner pays for it. I also want to point out the White House put out a very based executive order, Mr. Speaker, back in March. He said, from the founding of our republic, English has been used as our national language. Our nation's historic governing documents, including the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, have all been written in English. It is therefore long past time that English is declared as the official language of the United States. A nationally designated language is at the core of a unified and cohesive society, and the United States is strengthened by a citizenry that can freely exchange ideas in one shared language. In welcoming new Americans, a policy of encouraging the learning and adoption of our national language will make the United States a shared home and empower new citizens to achieve the American dream. Speaking English not only opens doors economically, but it helps newcomers engage in their communities, participate in national traditions, and celebrate the long tradition of multilingual American citizens who have learned English and passed it down to their generations to come. I love Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt dealt with this. There's tons of great quotes from him on immigration issues. And he says in 1907, "We have room but for one language here, and that is the English language. We have room for one sole loyalty, and that is a loyalty to America." I think this is another divisive bill. It doesn't focus on affordability. It creates a burden on business owners. It goes against the White House's national policy that we all speak the same language in this country. And that for that reason, I'll be voting no. I encourage you to join me in doing so. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, may I respond?
Shall the bill be engrossed and passed on to its third reading? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed to third reading.
Next up in this category, House Bill 380, legislation that seeks to amend and reenact Section Code of Virginia related to State Health Commissioner training materials for restaurant personnel, celiac disease. Legislation Report Committee on Health and Human Services.
The delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Bennett Parker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 380 would expand the written training materials that the State Health Commissioner provides to restaurants to include celiac disease awareness and safety. The Commissioner already provides materials on food allergy awareness and safety and more. However, celiac disease is not a food allergy, so it is not currently covered. The bill is an important step to help protect public health and support the ability of people with celiac to dine out safely. I move the bill be engrossed and passed to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and passed to third reading? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed to third reading.
Top of page 15, House Bill 381 seeks to amend and reenact Sections of the Code of Virginia relating to investigation or autopsy of dead bodies. Office of the Chief Medical Examiner, notification of retention of whole organ. Legislation Report Committee on Health and Human Services, Amendment Nature Substitute.
The delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Bennett Parker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the committee substitute.
Shall the committee substitute be agreed to? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The committee substitute is agreed to.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 381 ensures that after an autopsy or investigation, families are notified if their deceased family member's body is transferred to a funeral home missing an organ. The bill was brought to me by a family in my district whose teenage daughter died in her sleep. Because this was an unexplained death of a minor, an autopsy was performed. Months after her burial, the family learned that her heart had been removed during the autopsy and sent across the country for testing, where it remained. This bill will ensure that other families do not experience the shock and additional grief that my constituents felt. I move the bill be engrossed and passed to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and passed to third reading? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed to third reading.
House Bill 385 seeks to amend and reenact Sections of the Code of Virginia relating to alcoholic beverage control, operation of government stores, tastings. Legislative Report Committee on General Laws with amendments.
Dead bodies to drinking. Okay. The delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Bennett Parker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the committee amendments.
Shall the committee amendment be agreed to? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The committee amendment is agreed to.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 385 would allow ABC employees to conduct tastings within ABC stores. It also clarifies that ABC may sell other items that are connected to distilled spirits, including but not limited to garnishes. The bill is a request of ABC, and I move the bill be engrossed and it passed to its third reading.
Shall this bill be engrossed and passed to third reading? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed to third reading.
Turning to page 16, House Bill 396 is legislation to amend and reenact Sections of the Code of Virginia related to charitable gaming Texas Hold'em poker tournaments. Legislation Report Committee on General Laws with amendment nature substitute.
Delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Creasy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the committee substitute.
Shall the committee substitute be agreed to? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The committee substitute is agreed to.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What that substitute does is aligns the definition currently in the code for Texas Hold'em poker tournaments to be consistent with the definition within this bill. So what House Bill 396 does three things. It allows the nonprofits, like the fraternals, veterans groups and such, to who operate Texas Hold'em tournaments. Right now there's 6 licensed in Virginia, to increase their sales a little bit by enabling them to raise more money for their respective charities by allowing limited rebuy tournaments, which are currently prohibited in the code. Importantly, though, it also aligns with the other charitable gaming regulations, which restrict it to the area where they can be, so they can't be all over the state. They can only be in the community they serve as a charity in their county or the neighboring county or city. And third, which I think is the most important part of it, is it further strengthens protections for young people by raising the age from 18 to 21. I hope so will the body to engross this bill and pass it on to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and passed to third reading? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed to third reading.
House Bill 399 is legislation to amend and reenact Sections of the Code of Virginia relating to charitable gaming regulations, predetermined percentage of receipts. Legislative Report Committee on General Laws.
Delegate from Virginia Beach, Delegate Askew.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, members of the House, House Bill 399 is a practical update the Virginia's charitable gaming law. The bill supports long-standing 501c7 organizations formed on or before December 31st, 1977, like VFWs, Elk Lodges, other fraternal groups. Under the current law, these organizations must dedicate a predetermined percentage of their gaming receipts to lawful religious, charitable, community, or educational purposes. This bill keeps that requirement in place. It does clarify that these organizations require a percentage. The required percentage may be used to cover rental expenses for real property that's actually used to carry out those same charitable activities. It's a narrow fix, Mr. Speaker, and it does not expand who can conduct charitable gaming, and it does not weaken oversight of reporting. I hope it's will of the body to engross this bill and pass it on to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and pass the third reading? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed the third reading.
Next up, House Bill 817, which is legislation to amend and reenact Section of the Code of Virginia relating to state and local hospitalization program, Director of Medical Assistance Services, exemption from reporting requirement. Legislative Reporting Committee on Health and Human Services.
Delegate from York County, Delegate Downing.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is House Bill 817, a straightforward bill brought to me from the Department of Medical Assistance Services. This bill would exempt the DMAS from having to require a required report for the state local hospitalization program if the program receives zero funding from the state. This program has not been in use since 2010. The language in this bill also states that if the state decides to fund this program again, that they will resume submitting an annual report to the House. I move that the will of the body to engross this bill and pass it to its third reading.
Delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Simon.
Mr. Speaker, will the delegate yield for a question?
Will the delegate yield?
Yes.
The delegate will yield.
Mr. Speaker, I noticed that this bill about DMAS and Medicaid and so forth is being brought to us by someone who, if I'm correct, are you a pediatrician in your day job?
Yes, not during the General Assembly. I took a leave of absence. Yeah.
The delegate speaks through the speaker,
Mr. Speaker.
Not directly to him. He doesn't
Okay.
exist. All right. Speak to me.
Mr. Speaker, will the delegate yield for an additional question?
Will the delegate yield?
Yes, Speaker.
The delegate will yield.
Mr. Speaker, I do notice, I did a little bit of research about your practice. I noticed that you've got a couple 5-star reviews on WebMD and Health Grades. And in those reviews, they know that you have an excellent bedside manner, a lot of patience for questions, and you're really good at explaining things. And given that you're a pediatrician, I would ask the delegate if you could please explain this bill again the way you would explain it to, I don't know, a 4-year-old.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would respond to the delegate that I would simply look at a kid saying, if you have no money, you shouldn't have to require a report. You shouldn't have to say anything about this bill if you don't receive money for this.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the delegate.
Thank you.
Shall the bill be engrossed and pass the third reading? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and pass the third reading. Get used to speaking to 4-year-olds in here.
Mr. Speaker, continuing second reading, regular, going back on the printed version, pick up those 5 that were moved out of the block earlier today. Beginning with, top of page 6, House Bill 60, now before you, is legislation by Delegate Ward. House Bill 60 seeks to amend and reenact sections of the Code of Virginia relating to life insurance, health insurance, unfair discrimination, pre-exposure prophylaxis for prevention of human immunodeficiency virus, HIV, reported from the Committee on Labor and Commerce.
The delegate from Hampton, Delegate Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what this bill does is make sure that these insurance companies and life insurance companies do not discriminate against individuals just because they are taking pre-exposure prophylaxis for the prevention of HIV. Mr. Speaker, this just sounds like a common sense bill to me, so I'm asking that I hope it's the will of this body to engross this bill and send it on to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and pass the third reading? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and pass the third reading.
Continuing with the second reading, regular, same page, following on that way. Bill before us next is House Bill 67. House Bill 67 would direct the Director of the Department of Energy to identify and develop training resources to advance workforce development in offshore wind industry. Legislative Support Committee on Labor and Commerce.
Delegate from Virginia Beach, Delegate Fagans.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 67, the Virginia Offshore Wind Workforce Development Act, builds upon bipartisan work this body has already supported. It directs the Department of Energy to ensure Virginia's workforce is prepared for the offshore wind workforce industry through industry-aligned training developed in partnership with higher education, vocational, apprenticeship programs, and also by prioritizing veterans, local workers, and historically disadvantaged communities. At a time of federal uncertainty, this bill sends a clear signal that the Commonwealth will continue to lead in offshore wind workforce development. HB 67 strengthens workforce pipelines and aligns training with real employer demand. Mr. Speaker, I move that this bill be engrossed and passed to its third reading.
Mr. Speaker.
The delegate from Patrick County, Delegate Williams.
Question for the patron.
For the delegate, yield for a question.
I yield.
Does the delegate know if there are any current workforce development programs or anything in the Commonwealth that are excellent in nature and located somewhere in the South Side area that anybody could attend and go to?
Delegate Fagans.
Mr. Speaker, I would tell the delegate that, yes, there are actually currently great programs currently in the Commonwealth. One that I've actually helped to support in the past at New College Institute, where we were making sure that veterans had the training they need for offshore wind workforce development. This bill will continue to build upon that and will actually support and enhance the current apparatus and training that's available within the Commonwealth.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
All those, shall the bill be engrossed and pass the third reading? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed the third reading.
Mr. Speaker, picking up on the top of page 7 is House Bill 77. This legislation would amend the Code of Virginia relating to enforcement of federal traffic infractions by state and local law enforcement officers. Planning District 8. Legislation Report Committee on Transportation with an amendment.
Delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Kriesig.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the committee amendments. Or amendment.
Shall the committee amendment be agreed to? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The committee amendment is agreed to.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That was just a technical line amendment requested by the Supreme Court of Virginia. This bill addresses a safety concern in my district on the George Washington Parkway. That's the road between from Alexandria, well, actually it goes all the way up to McLean, I think, and it goes all the way along the river to Mount Vernon. But I'm concerned about the piece in front of, from the airport, really, in Arlington, all the way to Mount Vernon, because there's only one park police officer that maintains the traffic and the speed enforcement, and there's been a lot of accidents, and it's a very dangerous road. People are speeding on it. It used to be, it was a beautiful scenic bypass, and now it is a commuter road, and there's just a lot of traffic. What we do here is this will allow full enforcement responsibility. It would take it off of the park police. They would still be involved, but it empowers our local and our state police to enforce the federal traffic laws and keep the road users safe. I hope it's the will of the body to engross this bill and pass it on to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and pass the third? Shall the bill be engrossed and pass the third reading? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and pass the third reading.
Turning to page 9, picking up House Bill 343. Now before you, it seeks to amend the Code of Virginia relating to helmets, local authority. It's legislation report committee on transportation.
Delegate from Loudoun County, Delegate Martinez.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. HB 343 permits localities to adopt ordinances requiring children 14 years of age or younger to wear protective helmets whenever riding or being carried on a motorized skateboard or scooter or non-motorized scooter. Current law authorizes localities to adopt such ordinances for riders of bicycles, electric personal assistant mobility devices, toy vehicles, and electric power-assisted bicycles. Mr. Speaker, I move that this bill be engrossed and passed to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and pass the third reading? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed the third reading.
And finally, rounding out this section of bills, second reading, regular House Bill 515. Different bills, same patron. This legislation seeks to amend and reenact 2 sections of the Code of Virginia relating to sports betting, prohibition on the use of credit cards. Legislation Report Committee on General Laws.
Delegate from Loudoun County, Delegate Martinez.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. HB 515 prohibits the director of the Virginia Lottery from approving the use of credit cards as a method of payment for sports bettors to fund sports betting accounts. Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill be engrossed and passed to its third reading.
Mr. Speaker.
The delegate from Scott County, Delegate Kilgore.
Mr. Speaker, would the delegate yield for a question?
Will the delegate yield for a question?
Yes, I will yield.
The delegate will yield.
I noticed that it prohibits the use of credit cards. Does it also prohibit the use of debit cards?
Mr. Speaker, I will tell the delegate it does not.
Thank you.
Or debit cards.
Thank you.
Shall the bill be engrossed and pass the third reading? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. Bill engrossed and pass the third reading.
Mr. Speaker, that completes today's calendar.
Pursuant to House Rule 51, House will return to the morning hour. Does the clerk have any additional announcements or communications?
No communications, just simple announcements, Mr. Speaker, for the busy afternoon and tomorrow morning. Immediately upon adjournment of the House, the Committee on Rules will be meeting up on the 12th floor in the Appropriations Committee room. House Committee on Rules immediately upon adjournment of the House. Then the Committee on General Laws will be meeting in House Committee Room B on the second floor. The full committee will meet a half hour after adjournment. Once the full committee is finished, then its ABC Gaming Subcommittee will meet. And then once the ABC Gaming Subcommittee, General Laws, Procurement, and Open Government meetings. So General Laws and two of its subs all on the second floor in House Room B. Half hour after adjournment, the House Committee on Labor and Commerce likewise will meet. They'll be down in the lower level House Committee Room A. Once they are finished, the full committee, then the Subcommittee number 1 will be meeting. After Subcommittee 1's finished of Labor and Commerce, Subcommittee 3 will be meeting. So Labor and two of its subcommittees down in the lower level this afternoon in Committee Room A. At 4 o'clock, House Committee on Education's Higher Education Subcommittee. They'll be meeting in House Committee Room C on the second floor, Education's Higher Ed Sub. And then the last subcommittee meeting today will be the Committee on Finance, the Subcommittee number 2, and that will be at 4:30 in the House North Subcommittee on the second floor. Looking ahead to tomorrow, Wednesday, January 28th, the Speaker's Interfaith Devotional has been canceled. So the first legislative meeting, and likewise the Conservative Energy Caucus meeting has been canceled. So the first meeting will be Privileges and Elections. The Voting Rights Subcommittee will be meeting bright and early at 7 a.m. in the House North Subcommittee room on the second floor. Then at 7:30, ACNR's Natural Resources Subcommittee. They'll be meeting in House Committee Room B. That's Agriculture, Chesapeake Natural Resource Sub. Then at 7:30, Communications Technology and Innovations Subcommittee. They'll be meeting at 7:30. That'll be in the House South Subcommittee room on the second floor. Looking ahead to 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, Committee on Education will be meeting, House Committee Room A on the lower level. Once the full committee is finished with its docket, the Education Committee's Early Childhood and Innovation Subcommittee will meet immediately upon adjournment of that panel. ACNR Subcommittee is meeting at 7:30. Like I mentioned before, the full committee will be at its normal time at 9 o'clock on Wednesday. They'll be in House Committee Room B for the full committee on Agriculture, Chesapeake Natural Resources at 10 o'clock tomorrow. The Appropriations Higher Education Subcommittee, they'll be meeting on the 12th floor in the committee, Appropriations Committee room. And then finally, Mr. Speaker, with all of that, then two caucuses will be meeting. Democratic caucus is going to meet at 11:15. Republican caucus is at 11:30, 11 a.m. Sorry. So Democrats at 11:15 in House Room 1, Republicans and at 11 a.m. in House Room 2. Mr. Speaker, that completes all the announcements I have, sir.
The delegate from Loudoun County, Delegate Reed.
Mr. Speaker, are we still in the announcements period? First morning hour?
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you. Just a reminder, we are having tomorrow morning on every Wednesday at 8 o'clock the General Assembly Military and Veterans Caucus, and that's in Senate Room 3 of the Annex. So again, every Wednesday morning, and I apologize to the clerk, we haven't gotten that to you yet, but that's tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock.
Delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Herring.
Mr. Speaker, I move that when the House adjourns today, it adjourn to reconvene tomorrow at 12 noon.
Delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Herring, moves that when the House adjourns today, it adjourn to reconvene tomorrow at 12 noon. As many as favor the motion will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The motion is agreed to. The delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Herring.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the House do now adjourn.
The delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Herring, moves that the House do now adjourn. As many in favor of the motion will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The motion is agreed to. The House stands adjourned until tomorrow at 12 noon.